What's going on, guys? Gomes here, back again on another MLB The Show 20 Diamond Dynasty video. This shall be a direct line sequel to a video we did approximately 2 twin Tatooine moons ago. I think it was May, I'm not exactly sure. But the point is, since then, we've played a lot more games. There's been a lot more cards that have came out, and I've used said cards that have came out. So these are my favorites, the best cards in Diamond Dynasty that I've gotten my greasy gamer gunk filled hands on. And you guys know I suck. I'm not exactly what one might consider a comp rank player, but I've actually done quite well for myself this season, and so on and so forth. So if you guys are the equivalent of a yellow team player in MLB The Show, this could be of some use for you. Make sure, before we get into this one though, make sure leave a like down below. Definitely helps me out. Subscribe if you guys are brand new. We hit 44,000. Appreciate that. Thank you. Now we're on the road to 45, and then 46. Up to 50. You guys kind of know at that point. So let's go ahead and get started. 10 brand new players. The first one that I do want to mention, we're just going to start with the guys on my regular squad. Mickey Mantle. Is this really a fucking shock? Were you expecting this guy not to be on here? So I've had Mickey done for a little bit now, and actually we'll just move myself here, and I would like to think I've done quite well. You know, we just passed 100 at-bats with him. We're hitting 370, 411 on base. Really don't strike out with him at all. Only 3 strikeouts in 107 plate appearances, 18 home runs, and 6 other extra base hits to boot, near 1,000 slug. Mickey Mantle's basically everything you could want. He has some miscues defensively where he just has no sense of urgency. Maybe it's because he's so goddamn old. Maybe that was just how fast they moved back in the day. But old Mickelson here's done a bang up job. I'm not that close to his prestige, but once we get it, baby, it is going to get really good, and I can only imagine he's going to get even better from there. So if you guys were wondering if Mickey Mantle's worth it, I would say get Mickey, get the whole collection, the live series collection done before Trout. I definitely think that is going to be worth it. I think it's a little bit less for you as long as you aren't, you know, that close to Trout. And then you also get BGO in Sheffield, who we are going to talk a little bit later. I do want to talk about Trout though, because that's not like he hasn't been good. I'm only at 71 at bats with him right now, hitting 465. 15 home runs in 71 at-bats. Absolute lunacy. Basically, well, real life numbers for Trout, to be honest. 1670 OPS. Pretty proud of what we've been able to do so far. I only hit 350 against lefties, though. I don't know if I psych myself out there, but the majority of my bops come against right-handers, 12 to be exact. Again, I'm not sure how this is the case, but he's not the best defensively. I know a lot of people shit talked Griffey last year. Let me know, do you guys have this problem where guys just have fantastic, fan-fucking-tastic defense, to be exact, and they just don't do their part? You would think they have a hole in their mitt. A rat climbed in there over the night and chewed a hole through it. I'm not sure, but Trout seems to have the case for that at times. Otherwise, he's great, of course. You know, good contact. I have struck him out a couple times. I think 8, not really a big deal. Makes good contact, so Trout is a great one as well. I did actually, I think, mention Sheffield on my first video, but that was when I had like 30 at-bats. Now we have 300 at-bats. And this card might be my favorite card in the entire game based on how long I've been able to use him. He is just so good. And I know, let me know in the comments, I know a lot of people aren't great with Sheffield. I know a lot of people don't love his defense. But I really cannot keep him out of the lineup. I don't think he's had too many problems. 0 errors, actually. Pretty surprising right there. I play him at third now. I used to play him in the outfield, but again, you know, he doesn't strike out that much. He has a great OPS for me, about 50 homers and less than 300 at-bats. Gets a lot of doubles. Really clutch for me too. 400 in runners in scoring position opportunities. And like I said, he comes in with 61 fielding and doesn't make errors at third base. Does he have the best reaction? No. I'll be the first to admit it. 58 is not cream of the crop. It's not really ideal, but it can do in a pinch. And speaking of in a pinch, Chipper at short with 61 reaction and 63 fielding also does the damn thing. I did not like this card when I first obtained of him, but what do you know? We're hitting 420 with old Chipper, old Laren, old Jones Jr., and I cannot keep this guy off my team again. He is so goddamn good. I've had about 150 plate appearances, which is a substantial amount of at-bats at that point, and he just hits 20 homers, 434 on base, nearly a 900 slug, just fantastic. I pretty much hit the exact same thing, so that doesn't really matter as far as being that much better against lefties opposed to righties. I kind of do the same either way. He just has one of those swings which is really easy to time up. I feel he has a super buttery smooth swing through the zone. I can easily catch up to any 102 mile an hour outlier Alroto's Chapman fastballs and, send them over the fence just like, well, about anybody does, at least in the postseason for Chapman. And Chipper, 3 errors at shortstop, mainly where I played him, is good enough. Again, it's not Cal Ripken Jr. out there, but it is going to be good enough. So those are a few of the players in my main line that I've still used. These ones, I do want to talk about Bellinger quick as well, because he's not a right fielder. He is a first baseman. Cody Bellinger, I've just gotten too many good outfielders at this point, but do not sleep on this man. Do not think he's going to put up 2020 Bellinger numbers, because I hit nearly 423 home runs in 111 at-bats, and I promise you, look in my eyes, Gomes does not tell a lie like Abe Lincoln. These are not event stats. These are rank stats. This is not moonshot. I know a lot of people's Bellinger numbers are going to be skewed because of that. Mine is mostly ranked. Maybe there's a couple event games mixed in there, but you guys get the point. He's really, really good, and against lefties, still hitting 344. I think, 7 home runs against lefties and only 32 at-bats. Do you realize how good that is? That is, a little bit less than a homer for every 4 at-bats. That is really good shit. Cody Bellinger, if you guys are looking to get, first baseman, a flex for outfield as well, Bellinger is going to be your guy. So those are the ones that I used regularly, and the ones that are still on my team. Let's talk about some guys I'm in the early works for that I've really enjoyed up to this point. And Babe's going to be one of them. Babe has been pretty damn good since I have gotten him, about 50 at-bats, hitting 375. Here's the thing with Babe. I'm not hitting for as much power as I would like to. I think part of the I'm not sure what part of the problem is. I almost feel he has so much contact to the point where his PCI is so big. Some fat-fingered fuck like me is not going to be perfect on his PCI 100% of the time. That's just the nature of things. So sometimes I'll just get perfect ground balls, perfect liners that don't go for dick slaps over the wall, which is not a problem. It's not a knock to this card that he still gets hits and gets on base. Babe I like a lot, and I think once I play more with him, I'm going to like him even more. I played him at first base, I think, the entire time. You can play him in the outfield for sure. The 84 arm. This is going to be the best Babe we get this year. They traded in some attributes on the offensive end, gave him back on the defensive end. Babe is really good. The grind is not fun, but it is worth it. I definitely recommend that you guys grind him out. Another one I want to talk about is going to be Robbie Cano. Cano, don't you know, is one of the best second basemen in the game. One of the best cards I've used all year. Again, not too big of a sample size. I'm going to alert you. I did play on Buddy's account. I think it was in my Trout debut. I hit 3 for 3 perfect homers with Robinson Cano in one game. So just make that 8 home runs. Add on to those stats. I've used some of these cards more than just what you're seeing here, but still hits 400, 1300 OPS, 814 slug. And again, if I can find a lefty bat, which I, of course, like, you guys know I have a fetish for left-handers, absolutely, that can hit lefty well, I can really read their swing and time things exceptionally. Cano's one of those guys that doesn't, and I really like him for it. 81 fielding, good enough. He did make an error for me yesterday, but he's been really good so far. Haven't had too much time with him, so I'm not going to put him on my main line along the side of Sheffield and Chipper, for example. And then a couple more. I really only have one pitcher to talk about. I don't like pitchers this year. I don't like any pitchers. I mentioned Kluber last time. I don't like any relievers. The only other starter I like this year is Tom Seaver. Only 25 innings pitched, to keep that in mind, but he has been as good, if not better, than he was for me last year. And pitching is arguably more difficult this year as well. 1.44 ERA, 24 strikeouts, which in Diamond Dynasty, that's pretty decent numbers, I would like to say, especially for my style of pitching. I more so pitch to contact. Or at least that's what I tell myself. I'm like the Mark Burley of Diamond Dynasty. You're going to see the 10 walks, and you're going to look at the 88 walk line and think I suck, or I just allowed free passes. I was just letting everybody go by. The turnstile was not in order today. But I would argue if you're a good pitcher, you are going to walk guys. If you know how to locate, you know the umpire really squeezes you. They're not very forgiving with the strike zone. If it doesn't even have a sliver in, or if there's a sliver sticking out, it is not going to be called for a strike. That's just usually how things go with the umpires on this game. And I only have 10 hits given up in 25 innings pitched. Sievers been great. I can locate good with him. Of course, yes, he is going to have a couple walks. It really depends on the player you're facing, but really just like this card a lot, and I think he's going to be one of my mainstays going forward. And then this is a bit of a wild card. Just wanted to throw him on here because I think it's a great end of the bench kind of guy, and that is going to be actually getting positions mixed up here. Dietrich, really like him a lot. I obviously platooned him. I would not play him against lefties because 77 and 62 splits are not exactly good, but his stats are exactly good. And you can see I only hit 143 against lefties, which kind of dives my numbers down, but 367 against right-handers. I even did hit a home run against a lefty apparently, but about 60 at bats, hit 7 homers, had 6 other extra base hits, and I just liked him a lot. He has a great swing again with a left-hander. He's not going to play good defense anywhere, but you can play him almost anywhere. So that is a bit of a nice thing to have again on the end of your bench if you are going to pinch hit, maybe for a catcher, maybe for Posey, for example. That's just something good to have. So Dietrich, I would really recommend if you guys are kind of a budget team, or even if you just are looking for a really solid bench bat, he's going to give it to you. He's really going to make your opponent pay if he ever so happens to bring Chris Archer into the game. It is almost a guaranteed home run. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. These are 10 guys that I really have liked so much this year. Streams are coming relatively soon. I would like to stream probably tomorrow at the latest Saturday. We're gonna make a run at World Series. There's a stub sale into effect, and these cards are still going for 300,000. That's gonna set me up for early retirement. I could buy some real estate in Florida at this at this point in 2020. I'm not really moving to Florida, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Let me know some underrated guys maybe that you guys have been enjoying this year so far, and just some of your favorite players that you've had a chance to use this year. There's still some goons that are going to come out. We're going to get a better maze. We're going to get future star Adley Rushman is probably going to be the best catcher this year alongside Piazza. Still some good cards to come out, but we've seen a lot of end game cards already to this point with Mantle, Trout, Babe, and so on and so forth. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like down below. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a good day. Thank you, some Saudi.